He didn't rescue me, he bought me, so I destroyed him on live TV and escaped with the only person I trusted. But at the edge of freedom, I discovered she might have been watching me for 10 years. My future. Every piece of it is anchored to one person, my wife, Elena. Brave, relentless Elena, still locked in a war with her own mind. What the hell is this? Shut it down. Turn it off. Now. Security spotted her too late. Get the First Lady to the clinic, immediately. Maybe he was right about one thing. Maybe I am losing my mind. But not because of the cocktails of chemicals the prestigious Sterling family has been forcing into my veins for the past month. No. I'm unraveling because I know the truth. My name is Elena Sterling. In Manhattan, that name weighs more than gold locked in the Federal Reserve. People look at me and see perfection, wealth brushing against the heavens. But when I look at them, I see decay, rot, walking corpses wrapped in designer suits. 30 days ago, I made a mistake. I wandered into a family dinner I was never meant to see. Behind those gilded doors, goat masks, depravity, whispers soaked in sin, and the hollow eyes of girls being destroyed. For my curiosity, my father gave me a gift. A one-way ticket to Sterling Heights. Not a hospital, a cage, a sanctuary for the unstable elite. For a month, I performed swallowed sedatives, then forced them back up in freezing bathrooms, screamed just to keep my sanity from burning alive. Escaped, got caught, escaped again. Dragged back like an animal, and then Julian Vane arrived, a savior to the public. A man with an angel's face and ambition carved into his bones. The moment he stepped inside, I lunged, clawed at his perfect suit like a feral thing. Because that's what they all believe, don't they? A mad woman is unpredictable, dangerous, disposable, so I whispered to him. I may be crazy, Julian, but if you get me out of here, this madness will make you president. Refuse, and I'll drag you to hell with the rest of them. He smiled. You're a remarkable actress, Elena. I'll buy the role. He took the bait. Julian needed a ladder. I became it. And my family? They sold me without hesitation. Like scrap metal finally worth something. He thought he was freeing a broken bird. He had no idea. He was unleashing something far worse. The wedding came fast. Too fast. My father shed his crocodile tears. Julian grinned like a man who had just won everything. Welcome, Elena Sterling, to your new life. A higher cage. More beautiful. More suffocating. I thought I'd finally have space to breathe. To plan their downfall right under his nose. But Julian had other plans. Elena, considering your condition, I've arranged protection. That's when I met Jade's skin hardened by the sun. Eyes colder than steel. Not a flicker of emotion, just control. Precision. Obedience. A machine. She watches me sleep, follows me everywhere, bursts into rooms at the sound of a scream. Even when I wander, she reminds me, wasting energy is not on your schedule. Return to your room. Julian thinks she's my cage, but Jade, she doesn't realize yet. I'm the hunter. While Julian plays the perfect public figure, charming the elite, I play my role. Silent, fragile, draped in white like a broken doll in a wheelchair. Jade stands behind me, always still, always watching, until one mistake. A waiter spills wine on my dress. He looks at me with pity. That was his first mistake. I press my heel into his foot. Slow, deliberate, lean close, whisper in Latin. A fallen phoenix is still a phoenix. He runs. I return to my lifeless stare. But Jade saw for the first time. The machine hesitated. Later, I slip a note into her pocket. A warning of a market crash only a Sterling could predict. Give this to Julian if you want him to win tonight, I tell her softly. Or stay loyal to a man who's already losing. Choose Jade. Be a hound, or stand with the one who owns the board. That night something changed, and now, useless. All of you. Julian's voice cuts through the room. Jade, how do you explain a leak this massive on your watch? My entire campaign almost collapsed tonight. He's furious, confused, desperate, good, because the game has already begun, and he still doesn't realize. He didn't cage me. He set me free. Look at that. Julian's perfect machine is finally bleeding. Of course the documents leaked. I made sure of it. A calculated loss. Just enough damage to fracture something far more valuable than secrets. Loyalty. Julian is unraveling, exactly as planned. But he doesn't understand the true cost of his rage. He didn't just punish her. He tried to erase her. Food taken. Light taken. Pride stripped down to bone. He locked Jade in the basement. Pitch black, suffocating, timeless. Forced her to kneel on jagged gravel until her skin split and her strength bled out onto the stone. He wanted her broken. Wanted her to crawl back to him, begging like something discarded and desperate. But Julian forgot one thing. I know every weakness in this place, every blind spot, every silent corridor where even the cameras dare not look. So I go to her, not with sympathy, The basement air is thick, stale, almost alive, and there she is, Jade still kneeling, her body trembles. Not from fear, but from exhaustion pushed past human limits. Her knees are raw, blood smeared across the sharp stones beneath her. When she looks up at me, those once empty eyes finally hold something new, shock, humiliation, and something deeper, something fragile. I don't speak, no empty comfort, no false pity. I kneel beside her in silence. A warm cloth in my hand meets her cold, damaged skin. Slowly, carefully, I wipe away the blood. My hands soft, untouched by hardship, now tending to the very person who once stood as my cage. Don't move, I murmur quietly. Let me. Her breathing stutters. Are you going to stay here until you die, Jade? I whisper, my voice low but sharp. To prove what? Loyalty. To a man who sees you as nothing more than a replaceable weapon. I lift her chin slightly. Look at me. And she does. I lean closer, until our foreheads touch, until the space between us disappears entirely. The darkness wraps around us, heavy and intimate. I can feel the tension in her body, rigid, resisting, and then slowly, inevitably, giving way. Her breath escapes her in a quiet, broken exhale. Her fingers twitch, then clutch at the fabric of my dress like someone grasping for air after drowning. He starves you, I whisper, and I bring you water. That's when it changes. The way she looks at me. Not as a prisoner, not as a target, but as something she doesn't understand anymore. That night, Julian is gone, playing king to his audience of vultures. The penthouse is silent in peers. I stand before the mirror, the soft amber light tracing every curve, every shadow. My gown falls loosely against my skin, deliberate, dangerous, a quiet invitation. I call her in, her footsteps stop at the door. Hesitation. I smile faintly. Learning fast, aren't you, Jade? Machines don't hesitate. She steps closer, carefully, like approaching something volatile. Her hands reach for the zipper at my back. Strong hands, trained for control, for violence, now uncertain. They falter, tremble. I don't help her. Instead, I lean back slightly, letting my weight rest against her. I can feel the tension in her chest, the uneven rhythm of her breath betraying everything she refuses to say. The faint scent of sandalwood clings to her, mixing with the softness of my perfume. The air grows heavier. I tilt my head just enough to speak near her ear. Your breath is shallow, Jade. She freezes. Look at me. She doesn't want to, but she does. Did he hire you to guard me? Or to want me in his place? I murmur. Tell me, are you protecting me or protecting yourself from me? My fingers trace along her jaw, slow, deliberate, until they rest just beneath her lips. There's a storm inside her. I can see it. Loyalty fighting instinct. Discipline clashing with something far more human. She doesn't move. She can't. I let my touch linger just long enough to leave a mark. Not on her skin, but in her mind. Then I step away. Your job is to protect me, Jade, I say softly. But who's going to protect you? From yourself? I leave her standing there, shattered in silence, and the next act begins. Julian's voice roars through the room days later. You betrayed me! His fury is unrestrained now, wild, animalistic. A wiretap under my desk, Jade. Were you planning to sell me out? He thinks he's found the traitor. Good, because I made sure he would. I planted it. Somewhere obvious. Somewhere impossible to ignore. I needed this moment. Needed him to turn on her. To isolate her completely. To make her mine. As his guards move to drag her away, I step forward from the shadows. Stop. The room falls silent. It was me, I say calmly. I set it up. I used her mistake. She's innocent. Jade's voice breaks behind me. No, don't, but it's too late. Julian's anger shifts, to me, perfect. He drags me down into the same darkness he used to break her. Cold floors, locked doors, isolation meant to crush. But he doesn't understand. I don't break. I adapt. Whores pass. Maybe days. I lie there, still, silent, playing the part. But I know she's there, watching. Through that narrow slit in the door, Jade sees everything, sees me. Elena Sterling, reduced to the same dirt she bled into, all for her. A debt like that, it changes a person. When Julian finally releases me, he believes he's won. That fear has made me obedient. Instead, he makes his greatest mistake. He places me under Jade's care, training he calls it. Preparation for public appearances. Strengthening my image, but behind closed doors, away from his surveillance. We're not training, we're unraveling. Together, Jade stands behind me, closer now than ever before. Not as a guard, not as a cage, but as something far more dangerous, something that's beginning to choose me. And Julian? He still thinks he's in control. He has no idea. Two people he tried to break have already started rebuilding each other into something unstoppable. The space between us is almost non-existent now. I can feel the heat of her body radiating into mine. steady, controlled, yet betraying something deeper beneath the surface. These hands, the same hands that once knew only violence, restraint, and precision, now move against me with an unfamiliar care, as if I might shatter under the slightest pressure. A fragile thing, a treasure. Her fingers guide my arms into position, correcting my stance, adjusting my balance, but they linger. Just a second too long. Just enough to betray the shift neither of us is willing to name. Her breath brushes my ear. "Don't rely on strength," Jade whispers, her voice low, steady, but no longer empty. "You won't beat him that way. Use your hatred. Shape it. Control it." Her grip tightens slightly, not harsh but grounding. "Every strike you make, it has to mean something. It has to declare war." There's a pause, a fracture in her composure. "I will be your shield, Elena, no matter who stands against you." Forever the word hangs there, unspoken but deafening. I catch our reflection in the mirror stretching from floor to ceiling. For a moment, I forget to breathe. Jade isn't looking at me the way she used to. Not as a threat. Not as an assignment. What stares back at me now is something far more dangerous. Devotion, the kind that doesn't bend. The kind that burns, the kind that destroys. "Julian, you never saw this coming, because while she was teaching me how to fight, she exposed herself without realizing it. The faint scars lining her wrists, the quiet pauses between her breaths, the cracks in the armor she spent a lifetime forging. And for the first time in 10 years, AB feels something I thought was long dead. Warmth real. Uncalculated dangerous. I close my eyes for half a second. "Careful, Elena. You are the hunter, don't forget that. Don't lose yourself in the very thing you set out to claim." But even hunters know when the final move approaches, and I need one more strike, one decisive blow. Jade doesn't fear death. That's what makes her unbreakable. But she fears failure. She fears losing what she was built to protect. So I will take that from her. Tonight, I will shatter Julian's illusion. His masterpiece, right in front of her. Let her see it crumble. Let her see him fall. Because once that happens, she will have nothing left to hold on to, except me. Julian believes he already won. He thinks the darkness, the punishment, the isolation broke me, but he doesn't understand. What haunts me isn't the cellar. It's the memory, that night, that room, those masks. They follow me everywhere, staring back from every reflection, every shadow. So I sit in the corner, still silent, not rushing, because pain, drawn out slowly, leaves the deepest mark. In my hand, a shard of broken glass from one of Julian's prized vases. I drag it lightly across the old scars on my arms. Not deep, not enough to destroy. Just enough to reopen ghosts, to make them visible, to make them real again. The door bursts open, Jade she freezes. For the first time, truly freezes. Her world cracks in an instant. "Stop, Elena, stop!" Her voice, shaken, desperate. She rushes forward, grabbing my wrist before the shard can press any further. "What are you doing to yourself?" she demands, but her voice breaks halfway through. I look at her, really look at her, and I don't hide. I let her see everything, the scars, the damage, the shame carved into me by the sterling name. I don't pull away when she touches me. I let her feel it, all of it. "Promise me," I whisper, my voice barely holding together. "Help me end him, or help me end this." For a moment, the world goes completely silent, then, "No." Her answer is immediate, fierce, unyielding. She lifts my face, forcing me to meet her eyes. "You're not ending anything." Her hands tremble, but her grip is firm. "Do you know what kept me sane? When he broke me down there," she says, her voice quieter now, but infinitely stronger. "When I was bleeding on that floor, when I thought I'd lose myself completely," her gaze softens, not with weakness, but with something far deeper. "It was you." I don't move. The photos, the stories, the girl you used to be, your eyes, they had light in them, a kind of light someone like me. She exhales slowly. Someone like me never believed existed. Her thumb brushes lightly against my cheek. I made a promise back then, that no matter what it cost me, I would bring that light back. Her voice drops. "So don't you dare try to extinguish it." The room feels smaller now, heavier. Jade leans closer, her forehead almost touching mine again. "Your soul isn't stained," she says. "They are. There's no hesitation anymore. No matter what it takes, I will make sure you live long enough to see him fall." And just like that, the last piece falls into place. Julian's perfect weapon is gone. What stands before me now is no longer his creation. She's mine, in every way that matters. The days that follow become a performance, a flawless illusion. In front of Julian, I am obedient, silent. Broken Jade stands beside me as the same cold, unfeeling guard. But the moment he leaves, everything changes. The penthouse transforms into something else entirely, a sanctuary, a battlefield, a place where truth exists in the shadows. Jade holds me like I might disappear at any moment, like I am the only thing tethering her to something human. The scars on her back, fresh, brutal reminders of the punishments she took in my place, are still healing, still raw, and yet, she never complains, never falters. She simply stays, steady, unbreakable. I look at her one night, unable to ignore it anymore. Why, I ask quietly. If this continues, he will kill you. She doesn't hesitate. Abyss or heaven, it's all the same to me. Her gaze locks onto mine. But you, she steps closer, her voice unwavering now. I will give you a world without him, without them. No masks, no chains, no shadows. Her hand lifts slightly, not touching, but close enough to feel. I will build it with whatever I have left. A pause. And then, if that world lies above, I'll take you there. Her voice lowers. But if it lies below, another step closer. I'll walk into the fire with you. No fear, no doubt. I will stand between you and everything that tries to break you. I will carry what you cannot. I will become whatever I have to become. Her eyes don't leave mine. You won't face anything alone again. Something inside me, something cold, calculated, untouchable, shifts. For the first time, my heart betrays me, because this wasn't part of the plan, and yet, it might be the most dangerous piece on the board. It hit me all at once. Painful, fierce, deafening, so overwhelming I thought I might break apart under it. Because this, whatever existed between us now, was no longer part of any plan, no longer a calculated move on a board I controlled. The way Jade looked at me, it wasn't duty, and it wasn't restraint anymore. It was possession, devotion, something dangerously close to worship, and it made me feel small, and yet cherished in a way I had never known. That was the most terrifying part, because somewhere along the way, I realized something I was never supposed to feel. I was starting to crave her warmth, more than I craved my revenge. But the truth doesn't allow indulgence. The truth demands destruction. And tonight, the truth revealed itself. While Julian buried himself in campaign numbers and hollow promises, I slipped into the one place he believed untouchable, his private sanctuary. I wasn't looking for much, just evidence. Something sharp enough to destroy his reputation. Embezzlement, corruption, anything that could bring him down. But what I found was far worse. A silver goat mask, resting there in his drawer like a trophy. Polished, arrogant, unashamed. My breath stopped. The beam of my flashlight trembled as it touched the hollow eyes of that mask. And suddenly, I wasn't in the penthouse anymore. I was back there that night. The smell hit me first, expensive liquor rotting in the air, mixed with something far darker. The sound of muffled laughter, whispers, breathing that didn't belong in any civilized world. I saw myself again, smaller, terrified, hiding just beyond the door, watching shadows move behind it. Figures cloaked in filth and power, their faces hidden behind masks, just like this one. Mucking waiting, and then a voice warm, refined, elegant, so calm it made my blood run cold. Come now, Mr. Sterling. Hand Elena over to me. In my care, she will become something extraordinary, a masterpiece. You won't regret this arrangement. My father didn't refuse. He never intended to. And now, I remember everything. The truth slams into me like a blade. Julian didn't save me. He bought me every moment. The hospital, the concern, the promises, the vows. Every single piece of it was part of a carefully orchestrated performance, a transaction. He didn't pull me out of the darkness. He simply claimed it for himself, moved it somewhere private, somewhere no one could see. He is not the savior. He is the architect, the same monster, wearing a saint's face. I let out a slow breath, steadying myself as the disgust coils tighter in my chest. It's suffocating, violent. It makes me want to tear my own skin off. But I don't cry. I never cry. Elena Sterling does not break in front of her enemies. Tears are weakness. And I am preparing a funeral, so I walk back out into the light, wearing my most radiant smile. I let him kiss me. And every time his lips touch my skin, it feels like something crawling beneath the surface, poisoning everything it touches. Julian, I think quietly, you played your role perfectly. Perfect husband, perfect savior, so perfect. I almost made the unforgivable mistake of believing you, of giving you something real. He leans close, his voice soft, triumphant. We're almost at the peak, my love. Yes, we are. But not in the way you think. I find Jade in the shadows of the hallway, just out of his sight. Without a word, I open my hand, the silver mask gleams between us, and I watch her break. It's subtle, but undeniable. The last thread tying her to him snaps in silence. The man who saved her The man she served without question was never anything more than a buyer, a master, a liar. He didn't save us, I tell her quietly. He bought us. Her jaw tightens, her eyes darken. You want to run, I murmur. A pause, then I shake my head. No, running is mercy. And he doesn't deserve mercy. I step closer. We stay. We let him rise. Let him reach the very top, where the whole world can see him. My voice lowers, colder now. And then, we take everything. I can already see it, the moment he falls, the moment his empire collapses beneath him. I want him to feel it, I whisper. The same helplessness, the same humiliation, the same destruction. The higher he climbs, harder he breaks, so I smile again. Enjoy it while it lasts, Julian, because at the upcoming rally, his wife will give him a gift he will never forget. The stage is set, the crowd is massive. Cameras flashing, applause echoing like thunder. Julian stands there, bathed in admiration, playing the greatest role of his life, the Saint of Manhattan. And me? I step forward, calm, elegant. Controlled this time, not as the victim, this time as the one in control. I glance toward Jade. Activate it. Confusion spreads across Julian's face. What is this? He snaps. Shut it down, security. Panic creeps into his voice. My wife is unwell, he calls out quickly. This is fabricated, an attack on our family. But it's too late. The screens behind him come alive. Truth rot, unfiltered, undeniable. Gasps ripple through the crowd. And I step closer to him, my voice soft enough that only he can hear. That was just the beginning, I whisper, his expression fractures. The appetizer. I tilt my head slightly, meeting his eyes, no fear, no madness, no act, only clarity, only vengeance. The real show is just starting. I let my smile widen, slow and deliberate. Tell me, Julian. My voice drops to something colder than anything he's ever heard from me. Aren't you at your most beautiful? When you're finally breaking? Alina, don't worry. Mr. Sterling has already agreed to sell you to me. The words echo across the rally like a gunshot. For a split second, the world holds its breath. That's not me. Julian's voice cracks, sharp with panic. It's a fabrication, a lie. Shut this down, now. But the footage keeps playing, every frame, every word, every carefully buried truth spilling out under the merciless glow of the screens. Seize her! Julian snaps, the saint's mask finally splintering. Lock her in the asylum immediately. She's unstable. She's trying to destroy everything. The crowd shifts, confused, horrified, whispering. He's trying to cage me again. I almost laugh. Julian, I say softly, stepping closer, my voice cutting through the chaos with terrifying calm. Haven't you learned anything? My gaze flicks toward Jade. Your cage burned to ash the moment I took her hand. That's when everything moves at once. Guards surge forward, commons are shouted. But Jade is faster. Always faster. Alina, she says, no hesitation, no doubt. Get on. I don't hesitate. I shed the last remnants of the fragile woman they tried to turn me into and grab her hand. Rue, scarred, real. She pulls me onto the bike. That iron beast roars to life beneath us like something alive, something untamed. And then we're gone. Gunshots rip through the air behind us. Chaos erupts. People scream, but none of it touches us because for the first time we're moving forward, fast, wild, free. I wrap my arms tightly around Jade's waist, pressing myself against her back. Solid, unyielding. The same back that stood between me and every blow meant to break me. My heartbeat sinks with the engine beneath us, loud, relentless, alive. Go, Jade, I whisper, my voice lost in the wind. Don't ever stop. The city fades behind us. The towers, the lies, the cages. Goodbye, golden prison, I murmur. Goodbye, Manhattan. And finally, Julian, you pathetic coward. We ride through the night, chasing something neither of us dares to name out loud. Freedom, or the illusion of it. Hours blur into nothing until the horizon begins to glow. Michigan, the lake, stretches out before us. Vast, endless, almost sacred in the soft light of dawn. We stop at the edge for a moment. Neither of us speaks. The world feels quiet. Clean, like it's offering us a second chance. The sunrise spills gold across the water, washing everything in something almost pure. For the first time in what feels like forever, my chest loosens. Maybe this is what freedom feels like. We push the bike forward together. It sinks slowly into the lake, metal disappearing beneath the surface, swallowed whole. With it goes everything, the name, the past, the bloodline, Sterling. I turn to her. Jade stands there, wind catching in her hair, her silhouette sharp against the rising light. I take her hand, rough, scarred, warm, real. We're free, I say, almost in disbelief. No one can touch us now. And for a moment, I believe it. I really do. Then my phone vibrates, a small, insignificant sound. But it shatters everything, an encrypted message. No name, no trace, just a single image. I open it and the world stops. It's old. Faded, yellowed with time, but unmistakable. Jade Younger, maybe 10 years. Standing beside. My mother, my breath catches, my mother, the woman who vanished without a trace. The woman every agency, every resource, every fortune failed to find. And there she is, smiling beside Jade. The message beneath the image is short, cold, precise. Did you really think meeting her was coincidence? Everything unfolded exactly as planned. Welcome home, little toy. The phone nearly slips from my hand. I look down at our fingers still intertwined. That warmth, just seconds ago it felt like salvation. Now it feels like chains, heavy, unbreakable. I force myself to look at her. Jade turns slowly, meeting my gaze. Her face hasn't changed. Still calm, still unreadable, still carved from something unyielding. But now, I see it differently. Everything about her feels deliberate, constructed, controlled. Who are you? The question screams in my mind. The woman who pulled me out of hell, or the final piece of it. Was she my escape, or the last cage waiting at the end of every road I could have taken? 10 years. 10 years she existed somewhere in the shadows of my life. Watching, waiting, guiding. My grip tightens instinctively. Her hand doesn't pull away, doesn't react, just stays there, steady, present, unmoving. And that's what terrifies me the most. Because for the first time, I don't know if the person standing in front of me is the one who saved me, or the one who was always meant to keep me exactly where someone else wanted me to be.